I have a Kennedy story I'm going to tell before I start. As a child, I loved JFK. My mother says I was changed by his assassination. And maybe there was some confirmatory bias involved, or research consistency being uttered, because there was a book that came out shortly after about the impact on children. I question whether RFK Jr. doesn't come from the Onassis side of the family. Frame Zapruder frame 329 shows clearly Jackie Onassis holding a murder weapon. When you look at the postcard I received from the Kennedy family in the lead up to the Wuhan Tea Party, you see that it matches the vaccine card. And I wonder if RFK Jr. didn't hang his wife, Kyra. You see, when I reported the circumstances of Circe's death, it was answered with two more Kennedys being found drowned in a lake, and a circumstance suspiciously like the voice of Tulsi Gabbard, whose index is Gabriel and Bard College. You see, they claim that there was a +1 penis tag when there wasn't, but it can't be disproven. So therefore, they want service to the ARC ministry. If you do all your DEI, they will see about whether or not they will inject you with HIV, which is the plus sign and the +1, signifying you had one virgin and you're in an ethical combat with two virgins. Pussy Ball, the military-industrial complex cooperation system between the CIA and the KGB. Did you put in a good word? Putin. So behind the scenes, these riffraff are conuberating. So it's worth understanding these things to see what, if anything, we might do while we wait for the bird flu bomb. Now, I realize my father may have led a double life. He was on the CIA ship in the Navy with George Bush, but he was also targeted by Rigusta Karoyad, the wife of John Lennon, who pulled a mysterious double fantasy, a Houdini, into the beyond, where the revenge script of the woman who appears on a record from 1979 in likeness of one of his closest friends puts forward the doctrine of the Green Party, whose leader was named Jill, and whose claimant is named Dixon, working with Davis in North. Davis, like Jefferson Davis. Dixon, like Mason Dixon. North, like North and South. Kyra in the script was our neighbor, daughter of George Romero, who worked by Alfred Hitchcock on North by Northwest. Nancy Moore was the name of Strom Thurmond's wife. She had a double life as well. She used to say when she was pregnant with me, she didn't go to see Psycho. She believes in abortion. She's just sick about it. So what you have is a situation where there's a double life in the sandbaggers. The best people protesting Gaza are people like Owen Jones, but he lives with displaced grief. I know that the media wizards used displaced grief on me. The beheaded baby that they spattered the Carnegie Mellon University with, which was clearly mine from the woman I loved. And now Owen Jones hangs out with disciplined warriors from Oxford, where this woman, Rosa, like Rosa Clemente is. The disciplined warriors are women and haughties who proved themselves to Oxford and George Galloway and Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel used to say, yeah, they're larger than life in media. And media is more real. It's almost a fourth dimensional God. Gabriel used to say, judge not lest you be judged. And he was partners with Israel Katz over Leslie Katz, who used to talk about a metaphor for a metaphor for a metaphor. So we know who beheaded the baby. It was Nosferatu on behalf of the Ark of Colors, working Trump and Biden hand in glove. Because after all, they claim that it's a food fight. Notice these people who complain about cutting off electricity for Gaza and food for Gaza and claim that it would be taking a penny from the HIV positive are people who lied and to protect the people who did it. And they gave up, they passed on a chance to warn by lying. They cut off not electricity, not food, but the right to know, the right to defend ourselves. And they came along and later and said, don't worry about COVID. Focus on your stimulus check. In other words, they're saying George Galloway and the sandbaggers want to peddle the blood money. And they Ripper murdered an innocent girl over a penny. So when you're looking at displaced grief, the sandbaggers come in and play their honky tonk about the food fight and Rosa who kissed that frog. You're dealing with a Monty Python popcorn vendor tape loop after the bomb goes off in the movie theater. Buy your popcorn. The medium is the message in this case. And the medium is that Putin says, well, we have assassinations in Russia, but you have assassinations in America. So in other words, the KGB and the CIA are working together to normalize these things. And if you don't want the bias to plus one you, you'll do your 40 ministrations on behalf of the ruthless connubiating bias of the Ark Ministry, who knows all, sees all, and poisons all. They gave me very little information that would make me understand why I was targeted, but they told me that I was my father was saved by the atom bomb in all likelihood. Which means what? Which means when I heard about Little Boy and thought about it, you know why? Yeah, you know why. So Nosferatu and Biden were like looking at Adolf Hitler and saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I just want to say that Cyril Wecht probably stole Kennedy's brain because his partner Shulman was busted in a museum heist that enumerated at $6 million. What do you think of when you hear 6 million? So he gets house arrest because he's of the sacred brain thieves of President's Day 2025. So they attacked me as a symbol of the United States, and they attacked from both sides. They call it the axis of resistance and the axis of imperialism. The axis have two wings to fly with. The KGB, CIA working cahooters has created a lawnmower system. The supernova rave was the target. On October 5th, CC called Nosferatu and said the gig is on, and so Nosferatu moved the supernova rave into place. And Hamas had a big extermination party of the Arab Spring type crowd, and they proceeded to Michael Johnson genocide the unborn children of Gaza. And because you know why?